Hey, Josh here. We don't do this very often, but since this movie's plot prominently features a sexual assault, we wanted to give you all a fair trigger warning.
My lord.
Deny, deny, deny. Everywhere, always, at all times, and to all men. You did not commit adultery. It never happened. There is no proof. It will always be your word against that of Jean de Carrouges.
Yes, my lord.
Of course, we will have to endure a public trial. Charges of rape will be brought against you, and a verdict will be rendered by your overlord adjudicating this matter, who, as the fates would have it, happens to be me.
Medieval 2. This is spoiler.
This is spoilers. Interesting.
Guys, like Me Too?
Like mead?
No, like Me
I get
Too.
it. I like it. Me too.
Listen, it's not a very funny movie to talk about, but we're talking about it because rock hard Viggo Mortensen, Mr. Swole, picked this for us. He's been a rock hard Patreon for months. He's one of our top patrons of all time. He picked the Afro Samurai episode we did back in June. He did have some notes on that. I'll read this. Just caught the Afro Samurai review. Stevie killed it as a host. The Kill Bill reference was awesome. That's my favorite movie of all time. And then he got back to us and said, hey, gents, hope all is well. I decided on a movie for my Patreon pick. I'm going to let you all choose between The Last Duel or Medieval. Both good historical dramas based off stories that I enjoyed and I didn't think got enough attention when they came out. Hope you all enjoy. So that's what we're here to talk about today. He never got back to me with an opening question, but I made up one on the fly.
Woohoo!
If you had to do a trial by combat against someone in the spoilers extended family, who would you choose to fight? So it can be any of our regular hosts, any of the guests that we've had on any point, but who do you think you would fare the best?
It's got to be physical?
Fighting?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Why can't you take it to the courts, or why can't you appeal to the
How about
gods?
mental combat?
We are appealing to the gods. The gods are deciding.
The gods of combat.
God will find you guilty or innocent based on how much you can beat the crap out of whoever you choose. We'll go east to west. Josh, Brett. Woo, that's you.
This is Brett recording out of Fort Wayne. I mean, God, I'm sorry. Pap, it's going to be you.
What? Why?
Because you're very small. You're very small.
I'm very small. Okay, audience at
He's
home, I'm
right.
huge. I'm ripped.
No, you're small.
He's real greasy.
Mouse in the house.
I'm so slippery.
I mean, Corey's very slight. And if he can't run from me, I feel like if I got a hold of somebody, I mean, I know Pap was a wrestler, but I like my chances, I suppose. No offense, Pap.
Well, this question may have backfired. There's also like people like Pixie Bomber you could have picked. You picked me over her?
Yeah.
No, you can't choose a woman as this.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take pleasure when I was beating you to death, Pap. I mean, I promise you that.
You couldn't grab him, though. He's so slippery.
I'm slick. This is Pappy.
Huh?
From Goshen. Second most eastest.
That's true.
It couldn't be Brett. Brett would be my last choice. One, because of his armaments. Two,
We can use that?
I just don't think I'd have a shot. Okay, Stevie, I think you would beat me, but the only reason I would pick you is because we were wrestling partners in junior high.
That was always fun.
I might know some of your moves. Again, I think I'm going to be killed and found guilty of whatever crime I've been accused of. But at least I might have a psychological edge. And I would hope, as one of your best friends, you wouldn't be too violent towards your old pappy.
Oh, I'd rip your arm off and beat you to death with it.
Josh?
Hello, this is Josh from Goshen. I would take this extremely seriously because it's a battle to the death. Like, this is not a choice to be made lightly. Kylo has been in some scraps. He might be the smallest spoiler man, but he's scary, actually. I think we all know that deep down.
Yeah.
He's watched Three Ninjas 100,000 times. He knows all the moves.
But then, you guys, I thought of Film Dylan. He's pretty small, pretty young. But then I remembered he's a really active mascot.
He's in the Cavalier uniform.
Yeah. He probably could ride a horse
trained.
really well. I don't know, but
Is he a Swiftie?
No, you're
That's
thinking of...
Dave Mello.
yeah, he's thinking of Mellowbrick Road. But anyway, Pat got mentioned by Brett, and he's right, Pat. You are pretty small and weak,
And weak?
but you're also slow.
Oh, hey, I didn't say that.
Slow? I'm not slow. I'm speedy.
Pep
I'm
was in
agile.
cross country.
I gotta take my chances with Pap.
Pap is catching strays.
I'm sorry. You just seem like you have a lot of like weaknesses or something. I don't know.
What does that mean?
Hey, feeble Pap, I'm gonna pick you.
This definitely backfired.
Anyway, Josh from Goshen. Thanks, guys.
No, like it's like my Mario Kart rating. So not only are you weak, you're also slow. You're just low in all of the possible attributes you can have for this battle. Stevie, go ahead.
Can I pick two people?
Yeah, are you fighting them at the same time or individually?
I mean, I could.
It's Royal Rumble.
like one,
a
like
melee.
one's for survival, one's for country.
For country?
Yeah, I'll explain it.
Ready, steady, cut.
Yeah, he'd be the one
Hell
for
yeah.
country.
Great pick.
Talk about ruining a podcast. I mean, good God.
They fight for a living though in old across the pond.
What does that mean?
What if they're hooligans?
They're not. They were going oh dear the entire time.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not
So
hooligans.
they're that kind of British.
oh
They couldn't
dear.
even hang with the language of spoilers. Yeah.
No,
this is-
it was.
Cheerio, Stevie wants to fight me.
Yeah, it was just chaos. If I were gonna like actually test myself against the gods, I would choose Kylo Ren memes. Like it would. Like, you can call him crazy. I think I could match it pretty well. And the only way to fight crazy is with crazy. And I think that'd be a really fun match, even if I died.
I would love
I
to
can
see you
see
guys
it.
box at least. Maybe we could set that up.
That'd be fun. I could do that.
Just let it be known that Pappy immediately picked his best friend in the whole world to fight to the death, but Stevie didn't. So I don't know. if that
No, I
tells
wouldn't fight
anybody
Pap.
anything.
He ain't heavy.
See, that's why I would pick you.
He's
You would
my
have a soft
brother.
spot in your
Yeah,
heart.
I mean, I would hope.
But someone's got to die.
I know, but I would hope that we would both get struck by lightning before we started fighting, and then one of us would live. It'd be like the most balanced way to do that.
But let it be known that if anybody outside of spoilers messes with Pap, they're gonna get the wrath.
Yeah.
Stevie
We got a
Stevie and,
squad.
Stevie and Pap are gonna die like the couple in the Notebook. Just
Oh,
cuddling.
100%. In an old folks' home, not knowing who we are.
Cuddling in bed together.
Yep.
Beautiful thought.
Playing
It's a beautiful
night
thought.
crawlers.
You know what? I'm back on this question. It took a dark turn, but now I'm kind of liking where it's going. Mikey, who would you fight to the death?
I think you guys are thinking too close. You got to think just a little outside of our circle, and I'm going Alexander Cooper. I think I'll do the world
Great
all,
choice.
Talk about fighting
all of us some
crazy.
good.
Is that technically, has he been on the show?
No.
In spirit,
A voicemail?
Yeah, I guess he has a voicemail. Yeah.
He left you with like a threatening voicemail?
No.
What if he uses his watch attack on you, Mikey?
He just throws a bunch of off-brand watches at my face.
Yeah.
the off-brand watch empire.
Yeah, that would be devastating.
I believe that the true story of that is that we invited him to be on the pod. He wasn't able to make it because like the time zone issue is like such a big deal. And then he left us a message, but his message was so long it like ran into like the 2-minute voicemail limit. So we had to just cut it as is, put it at the end of the episode.
If you want more Cooper lore, I think it's Sandow is the episode. And then what was the other one?
Perfect man.
We did 2. We
Parallel.
Did, Parallel.
I think
Yeah,
Parallel
is
is the
other
one with the interview.
Go back and listen.
I thought that was somebody else you interviewed. I thought it was an actor.
Yeah, but we also got the director's voicemail.
Isn't it the actor's name was like David McGowan, and we kept calling him David Megawan or something?
Oh, really?
First 100 episodes were rough, bro.
Those might be ones worth going back to. And Paul, thank you for your almost year of support. I can't believe the pledge level that you're at. Rock hard, Viggo Mortensen. We loved Afro Samurai. Let's find out how we felt about The Last Duel. Brett, I want to start with you. I was going to ask this to Corey, but Ridley Scott, as a filmmaker, what are your thoughts on him? Because we've lampooned him before on The Counselor, another Patreon pick, maybe one of the worst movies we've done. But he's also made some bangers, and he just keeps grinding them out. He had 2 movies come out the year
it's
The
crazy.
Last Duel came out. Yeah. He's 85 years old. He's got another movie coming out in November of this year, the Napoleon one.
I mean, sure, I guess you could say he's bad. I mean, I think Stevie said I hate Ridley Scott for some reason, but I mean, what he did, Blade Runner, Alien, a movie that I absolutely freaking love is The Martian. Gladiator's amazing. I know it's not a good movie, but I actually did like Exodus, even though I know that's not one of his best. I mean, you guys could tell me the ones that bombed. I mean, not bombed, but like were bad, I guess. I thought Kingdom of Heaven was good. I've never seen Robin Hood. I know you guys weren't big fans of like Prometheus and Alien Covenant, right?
I like Prometheus.
Yeah, I like Prometheus and Covenant.
Yeah, I like them both.
Thelma and Louise was a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but you know, he's got some really, really good movies. But I mean, I guess everyone has some bad stuff. I mean,
He made
I like him.
Gladiator. Forgive a lot
Yeah.
just for that, you know?
I agree. It's got like maybe the best 15-second speech like ever. It's gives me goosebumps.
He's
just
got
thinking
that
about
like
it.
old man Woody Allen, Clint Eastwood dog in him, where he just keeps fucking making a movie a year. You know what I mean? Like he just doesn't fucking stop. Stevie, you did say you hate Ridley Scott.
I did.
In the group thread earlier. What are your thoughts on Ridley Scott?
Hang it up, old man.
Well, that's a diffdifferent argument for sure. I mean, I guess I can understand.
What
that.
if Napoleon's good? Joaquin, Napoleon. He's got the hat.
The hat.
Napoleon just released a trailer where it has like a remix of like Back in Black or some shit.
Okay, why didn't this movie have that? Like, I think it would have been a little better. No, like, Alien's amazing, like Brett said. Gladiator's amazing. I just think this movie felt a little 2005.
Yeah, I guess Kingdom of Heaven. It would have come out in that time when all those epics were coming out after Lord of the Rings. It might have fared better. I'm with you there. I agree with that.
I don't know. I just think the man of Ridley Scott's talent could be better served on something else in a movie like this. And that's why I said I hate Ridley Scott, because part of me still kind of holds out hope that he has like one banger left in him, but I don't think we're ever going to get it.
Gladiator 2's coming out next year.
Can I yes and Stevie, though?
Mm-hmm.
We really don't need, like, Ridley Scott's take on rape.
3 times.
Unneeded, truly. This movie could exist without that being the focal point, I believe.
It's literally the story.
I would say it's
what
like
led to the story.
He made it the story.
It's part of the story.
it's very 2005 in the sense that it's like
It's the implication.
like this historical epic, but I feel like it's also very. What year did this come out? 2020, 2021. Like
21.
it feels like a very like response with the Me Too movement. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's very much a byproduct of that.
Definitely. There's 10 minutes of this movie that definitely was from that. But I didn't think it was like too much. So I mean, I don't know. It's like when the mom's talking to her, and then when she's talking to other people, it's like victim blaming, and you should have just kept your head down.
Again, is it worth breaking down Ridley Scott's take on the subject of rape?
Well, that's
He's
I
against
really
it.
lose
Your
interest.
opinion.
Now we know. Now we know he's against it. I
that's
didn't
just
know
like
before.
your opinion, man.
It's part of the story because it's quote unquote based on a true story. We don't know what that means. But I mean, why didn't he just make up any other crime and just not have it based on anything? Something even more entertaining than what's the current situation going on in here. Just make it a land deal that is interpreted in 3 different ways.
I got a secret to tell you guys. Hey, rape is real. It happens.
I love the land deals, though, Mikey. They could have expanded on that. It would have been
I
a
thought
happy
that's what the
boy.
movie was going to be about.
I was hoping that was
Sounds
the
like a
big
banger.
courtroom drama, suing people over real estate. That would have been a banger.
Honestly, it's cool. Those maps look sick as hell.
They
The
did.
thing is, it's not even really a duel, and it certainly wasn't the last duel of all time. Like, we did a podcast on Hamilton. That ended in a duel, and that took
Tombstone.
place.
Believe it or not, it's
Lots
not
of
even the
duels.
last duel in France.
So it's like, I don't know. We'll talk about the players here in a second. But Mikey, how do you feel about the Rashomon different perspectives? This is what happened from Matt Damon's point of view. This is actually what happened.
Matt Damon.
When I saw the chapters, I was like, oh God, it's going to be one of these movies. And then I thought it was just kind of edited really weird when we're going through Matt Damon's perspective, because like he's like in the middle of a fight, boom, he's like trudging back home defeated. Like,
Yes.
so I was like, okay, something's going on here. I don't know what Ridley Scott is thinking, but that's like a lot of info. Just like, okay, I guess everybody else is dead. I don't know what's going on there. So
The first like cut that was like really jarring for me, and I think I even had to rewind it, is when they're really at the beginning in chapter 1, they're showing their fealty to Pierre, and then bam, Le Gris a year later is coming to his castle to say hi. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, stuff
they
like
jumped
that.
around,
Like
like, a lot.
they're just jumping so much. So you're like, okay, something's going on with either the timeline or something in this. So we get to the next chapter, and then we see that it's from different points of view.
Yeah,
And I actually thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was like,
definitely.
because I thought especially when they meet at that party and somebody says something about the king, it's from 3 different people in all 3 different like perspectives. And I thought that was like pretty interesting. Something like in fealty to the king or something like that was said by 3 different people. So I thought it had some interesting aspects to it, but I don't know. I was just like, all this boring stuff for the last 5 minutes of the duel. I was like, I don't know if it's so worth it to grind through the rest of the 2:15. So that's kind of how I came away with it.
I'll say this. Like, I've seen a lot of fucking movies. I know, Stevie, you have too, where it's like they throw in these chapter inner title cards. They're just totally fucking arbitrary and don't really add anything to the story. At least these are like,
Oh yeah.
they serve a narrative editorial purpose, right? For having different chapters.
Yeah.
But this... Corey!
What up, y'all?
Sorry,
Let's
a lot
go.
of people would fight you to the death. Just so you know.
Yeah. Corey, the opening question was, and sorry to put you on the spot like this, if you had to fight someone from the Spoilers extended universe to the death in a trial by combat last duel type scenario, who would you pick? I think I got a lot of votes. You got at least one. Alexander Cooper was probably the best choice that we heard.
Actually,
Maybe from Big Dumb Movie too.
Pappy was unanimous, and then we
We all grab one of Pappy's limbs and run in opposite directions.
And we'd all slip off.
My greatest strength.
Well, I don't know. This is an interesting question. This is cool. I'm glad that you said someone picked me, right? Who was it?
It was me, Stevie.
Nice.
You were my secondary pick only because you're thin. I mean,
I said I wanted
and
to
then-
challenge myself in front of God, and I said Corey would be a fun fight.
Well, I think
especially since he's an atheist, so it'd be like proving you wrong.
by killing you,
All right.
Jesus.
God.
the ultimate way to win a
sorry.
debate, kill the other man where he stands. This is it.
Josh said he wouldn't pick you because you're crazy.
Empirical truth.
I said he's
Nice.
scary and he's gotten in fights before. It's different. Didn't say he's crazy. Rewind the
Josh
tape.
also called me weak and slow. The obvious
And
choice.
slippery.
And slippery and
Greasy.
Uncoordinated, maybe, would be an adjective I'd use.
What? How would you even know that? Throw me something right now. I'll
He's
catch
seen
it. I'm
enough.
ready.
He's seen enough.
This is Corey, Kylo Ren memes, not Jacques Le Gris memes. Different guy, different asshole. I don't know. I think Brett, right? So Brett is an interesting choice because Brett is packing. So, like, if you're going to try to fight Brett, like, he's either going to pull a gun or you might get lucky and you can, like, pull a I'm going to get you, sucker. And he has, like, all these guns on him. And he falls, and they like end up shooting him all over the place. Like, I think that happens to Chef from South Park. What's his name? Isaac Hayes. I think that
Okay.
happens to him, and I'm gonna get you, sucker. It's like he's packing heat. He has guns everywhere, and he like slips on a bullet, and they just like start going off, and he's taken out of commission immediately.
Yeah, but I'll try not to take that as an insult. That you'd think I'd need to immediately go to guns if you're coming at me.
Brett, let's be honest. You want to use them. You got them. You're ready to go, man.
This is your chance.
I don't want to spend my life in prison though, so.
Kylo, we're talking about cutting around in the chapters and kind of figuring out that it's from these different point of views and how that works with the storytelling. And one quick point I wanted to throw out was I feel like there's a stretch of this movie where that's going really well, especially kind of towards the beginning and middle of Adam Driver's part. There's some really the funnest parts of this movie at least are in there.
Jesus, Josh.
Corey, did you ever even pick?
It's you, Brett.
Yes.
Yeah, Brett,
Oh.
you said you would drop your guns and shoot yourself.
Stevie, why did you ug me though?
You
I
were
mean,
like,
the middle of Adam Driver's parts.
You're like, Adam Driver is the funnest parts. It's like, okay.
No,
Oh boy.
I specifically said the beginning and middle
Hey,
of it.
hey, you said it, Josh. Hey.
It okay, I'll say it since my hand is being forced. It literally falls apart with his rape scene. From his perspective, he rapes her. What is the movie saying here?
It doesn't say anything.
That's something that I was telling Stevie when we talked on the phone earlier. It's like, what is really even the point of having these different perspectives if it's like confirmed what he did was bad? Like, it's not even like from his point of view that it's defensible. Like, I don't even believe him later that he thinks he didn't rape her. Like, of course he did. Like, he knows he did
Yeah.
to some point.
But
Completely
think about,
does.
okay, I'm with you. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. Like, think about her recollection of when she runs up the stairs, and his recollection. This is a really small part. I might be reading into it. In his recollection, she takes her shoes off. Like, that could easily be seen as like she's being coy. He's
Well,
chasing her around upstairs, and even when he flips her over on her stomach, in his version, she kind of turns herself over on the stomach, and the sounds are much differently. I think he convinces himself that he didn't do anything.
When he bursts through the door, it's like the bed is like right there versus from her perspective, it's like it's horrific. I mean, they're both horrific, but like from her perspective, she's like holding down the door, like trying to keep him out. You know, like
Yeah.
the way the scene's shot is totally different, but it's just, I don't know. Like,
I think he
Even
talks
like the-
himself into it. They even said, like, she's not even considered a real person. She's property. So, like, again, he rapes her. There's no doubt about it. I kept waiting for, it, like, her to come around, even though that still would be rape. But, like, there's subtle differences that between her perspective and his that I think make for really good filmmaking. That's
I
just my
think that's-
opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's actually interesting. What I don't like in this 2.5 hour movie though is where like we have to see these other side quests that they're on. How do you say Matt Damon's name? Carrouges,
Carrouges.
right? Carrouges. Like, there's this whole scene where he goes to Paris and like gets money, and I have no idea what that adds to the narrative. Like,
He has
at all.
money now.
But why do we have to see that from his perspective? Like,
Well, one of the
what does
things
that add?
He's getting paid for the war he just fought.
In his mind, he needs to provide for his wife, even though he failed at war. But when he's gone, she's literally making that Skrilla because she's a better manager than him. But in his mind, he needs to get that money to take care of her. But she doesn't really need him.
Is his mom a bit of a money grubber from his perspective?
His
She
mom's
sucks.
a bitch.
She sucks so bad.
She's awesome as a performance and a character.
Oh, yeah.
though.
No, I hated her guts.
It's one of the
Yeah, for sure.
strongest points. I think, like, Pappy just doesn't really understand that this dude needs to get paid, and that's important.
He
Gotta
has to
see
get
it.
paid.
You don't like
What were you
seeing those?
saying?
You don't like those stacks of gold?
What were you saying, Corey, a second ago? You were saying something.
Yeah, one of the things that we learn in that moment when he goes to pick up his fat stacks is that he is illiterate. We don't know that up until that point in the movie. And I know it's a very small thing, and maybe you don't need a whole scene like that to learn that one piece of information. So there's probably more, but that is one thing we learn.
Yeah, he's a rube.
Yeah, he's a real dum-dum.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about his hair yet? Has that already been covered?
Theo Vaughn?
No, I was going to ask what was a better mullet, him or
Fucking
Kevin
Theo
Costner.
Vaughn.
Well, I mean, it was the 80s, and in the 80s,
Right.
It was the 80s.
it was the 1380s, and it was very popular to have that kind of hair back then, you know? To have like the mullet, I think it was a very 80s thing.
He looks like he has the sickest lifted truck.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
definitely got testicles hanging off the back.
Yeah.
There's this one scene in the courtroom. It's from Adam Driver's perspective, that chapter, where he, like, the glove's on the floor, and he, like, whips his cape in front of it and, like,
Yeah.
moonwalks.
It's amazing.
What the fuck? It's so weird.
But that's one of my points, Pap. I think
Yeah.
their own perspectives point out that they're a douche. Like, I kind of came away
Oh,
from Matt
100%.
Damon's
Yeah.
own perspective thinking he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's like a rage monster in his thing that gets like worked up over everything. In her recollection, he's like way more cruel. But yeah, you definitely get. But like in his mind, he's being kind of valiant
Exactly.
and
He's like a hero to himself, you know?
It would require a full convening of the assembled parliamentary body of Paris, all 32 members of your Majesty's court. One of us has lied. Let us let God decide.
Sir John, if you lose this duel, thus proving these accusations false, your wife would suffer dire consequences.
God will spare those who tell the truth, and the truth will prevail. I am not afraid.
Excellent.
Why do we get a Matt Damon chapter?
why not?
Why 4?
Well, he's maybe the main character of this movie, but I think he sees himself as like a guy that's just trying to work hard and like get the things that he's owed. And from his perspective, right? Like, for example, like the land that he was promised as part of the dowry. In his story, he was just promised that. And then next thing you know, Adam Driver's like, check all this out. This is mine. Isn't that cool? And he's like, what the fuck?
Isn't that cool?
I was told this was going to be mine.
The fuck?
I think you have to feel a little bit of sympathy in moments like that.
But I think I don't know. I think that's also kind of a problem because there's so much within each of the chapters that the story's trying to fit in. Like, it takes place over years and years and years. And we were talking about earlier, Corey, like some of the cuts are kind of jarring between it. Stevie, what about the battle sequences themselves? This is Ridley Scott. He's done, multiple historical epics at this point. One more coming out this year. I thought they were okay.
Really muddy.
I didn't love some
Lots
of the
mud.
CGI. Yeah, what do you think from an action standpoint?
Lots of wide shots. Lots of mud. Nothing kind of reinventing the wheel or anything, and nothing outside of Theo Vaughn saving Adam Driver that really pushed the story forward, really. I mean, Quite frankly, I think we could have gotten aftermath of war scenes and nothing would have changed in the movie.
What about starting the movie with the Last Duel
I like
and
that.
then going into the story?
That's my biggest problem with the movie.
Really?
Yes, is
Elaborate.
if you're gonna start with the Last Duel and you have a story like this, you have to finish the Last Duel in the very beginning. If you're gonna start with it, like we have to see Adam Driver be killed, stripped naked, dragged by a horse, hung up, and then we have to start the story of what led to that.
Why he's the bad guy.
What do you end with then?
Well, in a better story, something is said. You know, in this movie, nothing is really said. Like this movie's really not saying anything for 3 hours, and so that's kind of the whole point of like going to a story and not ending on the battle. Is the story will reveal itself of what actually happened. That's why I wish we would have gotten a chapter called The Truth.
He kind of tried to do that, though,
Yeah,
right?
we do.
The words fade away.
Yeah.
Except for the truth.
Well, this movie has no balls then, because this movie needs to say something. Like something had to have happened.
I feel like it says something very explicitly, and it's like I said, the post Me Too messaging to the point. Listen, I'm fine with like the believing the women and like the trials that she has to go through to come forward with this rape that happened to her. But it's like there's a whole sequence where she's a badass at like running the estate and like collecting taxes and all this shit. It's just like, you know what? I got it. Like I get that Matt Damon's a rube. Like she's also the best lord that this whatever fiefdom has ever had. I don't know.
Good morning, Henri.
Good morning to you, my lady.
Pregnancy seems to be going well.
Yes, my lady.
So why is she penned up?
Before my master left, he had told me to do so.
My husband knows much about horses. Riding them. The upbringing I leave to you.
It would be better for the health of the mare to be roaming free.
Then she shall roam free.
Thank you, my lady.
Fucking woke. Fucking woke bullshit.
I'm not even saying that, but it's like, okay, I get it. I don't know. It's even to the point where it's like Matt Damon's too stupid to use horses to plow the fields. Like
her motivation really gets muddied and falls apart as like the duel gets close from her perspective. Like she goes from being like so adamant that she's gonna like proclaim this rape to the end, in a drop of a hat, flips and is like, fuck you, Matt Damon, for getting us into this shit. Like
you just had to sue him, huh?
When you find out you're gonna be burned alive, it might change your perspective.
Really? She was willing to let him fight to the death.
She didn't want him to fight to the death. She said that.
And also, don't these people, like, wouldn't they literally believe that, like, a trial by combat would be intervened by God? Like, wouldn't she have faith that he would win? Like,
I don't know if she believes it, but they definitely do.
but like, why would? Yeah, if she's telling the truth, which she is, like, why would she even?
That's a good point.
Question
I see what you're
that
saying.
In a medieval
we're barely
society,
out of the Dark Ages. These people are idiots.
Yeah, she'd be like, "No, God is on your side. God is on our side." Like,
Well,
I feel like there would be some confidence there.
in a land where it's probably illegal to not be part of the church, I assume that's the case, right? There's probably some people that don't believe in it and just don't say so. And there's probably more than you might think, right? Not everyone is necessarily going to believe in this. They're just like, oh, yeah, I totally, God's got this, right? And they're like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do?
Yeah. So she's also like the first Reddit atheist as well as being
God,
the best.
It is woke. No.
Yeah.
Say the poorer people tended to believe more.
There's a difference between believing in God and thinking that he's going to like come down and save you in a stupid ass fight in the mud. Like,
I think now. I don't think then. I think
You
these
don't think
literally
people were
thought-
complex at all?
He
I
literally
totally
said that
think.
women can't have a baby if they don't have an orgasm, which I'm guessing 99% of all the women pre-1900 have never knew what an orgasm was.
That's just science.
Bobby Knight was
Science.
claiming that up through the 1990s. So I don't.
That tracks.
Josh, you mentioned Ben Affleck.
Affleck.
We haven't talked about him. I think he
That's exactly.
co-produced
He co-wrote.
this movie. Yeah.
Huh.
With Matt Damon. What'd you think about his performance in this? A blonde Ben.
He gave himself such a fun part, did he not?
Well, he was supposed to be Adam Driver's role,
Oh, interesting.
Oh, he couldn't pull that off.
but
No.
Ridley Scott hired Adam Driver, I believe. So he said, "Yeah, that'll work," and then he was going to be Pierre instead. So
Real quick on that, Josh. Sorry,
Yeah.
and I'll let you talk about Ben Affleck.
That's
But
fine.
like, why is there this huge age gap between Carrouges and Le Gris? Like, why?
Le Gris.
first of all,
Why?
they're supposed to be
They're
really
both
old.
squires. Matt Damon's 50 and Adam Driver's in his 30s. Like, what? I can't unsee that. I know who they are. And yeah, you're right.
He's been married before, so they kind of establish he's a little older.
A 50-year-old in this time, though, would be a senior citizen.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's more than senior citizen. That's retirement home.
They'd be a walking corpse.
He'd be the king from Princess Bride. Sorry, Josh. Go ahead. Ben Affleck.
No, he's got a good character because I think he goes from being kind of this mysterious hand of power who's fucking over Matt Damon. That's like the first kind of glimpse we get of him. And then we get this kind of like real side of him, and he's funny, and he thinks Matt Damon is an asshole and a prude, which he is. But then what I think the movie does a really good job of is you kind of start to think he's not that great either. Really slowly. Because I think he takes his hedonism a few steps too far. And I think he's a well-written character. He's one of the bright points of this movie for me, Pat.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Couple of-
Agreed.
Agreed. A couple of those sex games are pretty insane.
Take your pants off.
Like they're just going at it.
Just a night with the boys.
There are a couple other scenes that I want to talk about specifically to Brett. One that I thought, and you were mentioning this, like the subtle differences between them. They go to like this birthday party of some other lord in the area. Do you remember anything, any differences between the different perspectives? This is one of the scenes where we see all three characters' perspective.
Yeah. So the first one, Matt Damon's character's got a lot of faults in this movie. One of them is he seems to be, for someone who's like extremely jealous, he's not very observant of what's going on. Like in both the other two chapters, like it's almost like an open mouth kiss, but when the two people meet. But like in his, it's like a really quick peck. He doesn't notice what's going on around with her and Adam Driver. Like with Adam Driver, in his mind, he's seeing her like give him the signal, like the goo eyes, and like he's like, oh my god, she's so into me, which might help explain later why he thinks that she's into him. Again, it doesn't explain or away what he did, but and then for her, it's like she's kind of sucking up to him to try to give her husband more favor. So they're all very similar. There's not a lot of big differences. And I could be missing something, but...
Le Gris.
Carrouges.
Let there be no ill will among the servants of the king. He needs us all right now.
Hear, hear. Well spoken, old friend.
Marguerite, come. Give our old friend a kiss and show the good faith of the house Carrouges.
Carrouges.
Le Gris.
Pax. Well done. Well done, all. Let there be no ill will among the servants of our king. His Majesty needs us all right now.
Here, here. Well spoken. Marguerite, come. Give my old friend a kiss. Show him the good faith of the house Carrouges.
Carrouges.
Le Gris.
Hawks! Well done. Well done, all! Let there be no ill will between servants of our king.
Marguerite, come. Give my old friend a kiss. Show him the good faith of the House Carrouges.
There's also in 3 of the different chapters, who says, "Let there be no ill will between servants of the king." It's said by 3 different characters, right?
Love that.
It's either from the person whose perspective it is, or in the case of Marguerite, it's just like this third party person
dude in the
just hanging
back.
off
I
to
love
the side.
him, by the way. I love that actor.
Pax!
He's awesome in Equalizer. Crespin. Pax.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of this scene. You could make a different movie where this is happening in a frat house, and 2 guys are like looking at each other, and the whole room quiets down, and they approach each other as if to fight, and then they're like, "Bro, Eskimo brothers, we got this."
Patty Mayonnaise Brothers.
Ew.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
The fuck does that mean?
You know what it
Good
means.
God.
No.
What would that movie be
disgusting.
called? The Last Flip Cup Game?
Well, this is interesting, Stevie, because on the same phone call I referenced earlier, you mentioned, why does this film take place in the Middle Ages?
Blows my
And,
mind.
like,
Blows my mind.
obviously, it's based on a story that was then adapted into a nonfiction book in the early part of this century. But you could tell effectively the same story
In corporate America.
in any time period.
This
Give me the Stevie pitch. Yeah.
I thought this movie should have been set in a corporate setting. I think it works way better. Way less mud, more room for, I guess, like jokes to actually land. And I think people could, probably express a little more, pull off a little bit better acting than what we got, especially on Matt Damon's part. I know he was playing an idiotic rube, but like
Rube.
I thought Ben Affleck and Adam Driver acted circles around him, unfortunately. Same with the actress. What's her name? Jodie
Comer.
Comer. I thought she did really well, too. I thought this movie could have been set like in either Silicon Valley or a Wall Street setting. Could have told the exact same story, and it would have been much more enjoyable.
You know who I loved performance-wise was the King. Dude, that kid's face has got like shithead royalty.
What if it goes like a brick direction, Stevie, and it's like Captain C is like captain of the fucking football or soccer team or something?
Sounds cool. I mean, it wouldn't bother me any. I just
But it would still be about rape in any of these cases. I
mean-
would get rid of that. I would.
I would get rid of the rape part.
Yeah.
Just make a whole new movie.
Make up a different crime. A
Just make
different
up a whole
crime.
new movie.
Brett, why are you so offended by it?
This is based on a true story. It's the story. You can't just hide from things that happen in real life because it make you uncomfortable. These things happen.
The Patriot did. You gave that a yes.
Yeah, but it's also boring. So it's like, just do something else.
What do you mean, Mikey? Like, what
This
part's
movie's
boring?
boring. This is so long to get the same. They're not the same 3 perspectives, but like they're so slight in some of these scenes that it's like we're really just watching 3 identical scenes here that are the same 3 times throughout this very long movie. And I don't know. I guess like just make it about the land thing. Like make it about like how they all interpreted this land deal going between them, and set it in like, I don't know. If I see horses and swords, I want to see that shit throughout the entire movie. I don't want to see people talking. I want to see people fighting. It's just like so hard to get through that aesthetic with just like people standing around talking about bullshit for 2 hours.
Why not have them have a Reddit? Why not have a Reddit duel or a text message fight?
Brett.
Comment section.
Come on, guys.
I don't even know what Brett's talking about. That sounds awful.
I would
for
like
the
to hear
movie.
more about Brett's point here, because I feel like he started to like sink his.
I'm actually kind of with Brett on this point. The story is the story. Like,
Becoming
I don't.
unhinged,
I have a
apologize.
fix for it. I get your point, Brett. But what if when they shut the door or he breaks into the room, whatever version it is, what if it just cuts there both times?
Yes.
But that's
Okay.
That's ambiguity. I don't.
Yeah.
It might be saying something then, because then, and you get rid of the truth extra fade out from her. Why can't she be a complex character with like gray in her story too? And then you have an interesting movie that has the option to say something.
My honest thought is, I think you're right. I think that's a better movie and a better story. I don't feel like they felt like they could have done that at the time this movie came out. You're making this like a year after like Harvey Weinstein shit hit the fan. Like, you can't be like, maybe she's making up a rape story in that environment, in that town when this is happening. Like, I don't think you're wrong. I just don't think they could have done that, even if they wanted.
Make a different movie.
No, because he fucking made that Robin Hood movie, and he made Prometheus, which fuck that movie. I know some
And
people
nobody
like
liked him.
He made Alien Covenant, and this man hates us. He hates all of us.
Yep.
I hate millennials.
I'm not saying don't tell this story. I'm just saying, did you have to make a 2.5-hour movie about it? Like, if you're gonna have swords and shields, do swords and shields. You got the whole budget for this stuff. You're doing 5 seconds of a fight, and then you're cutting away, and we're in a new scene. It's like, we want to see fights. That's what we're here for.
Stevie. You can't tell me that when he's fighting the Scots and all the arrows are coming out and he's like, why won't anybody fight me?
I like that part.
That
Why
you
did they
have-
run? Why did they run?
Corey, I want to ask you, I know we're getting kind of broad on like, should this movie have been made, but like specifically, would it have been a better movie if the rape was ambiguous on whether it happened or not?
Maybe. I like that idea. I never really thought about it, but I should have, because it did strike me as odd that even in Adam Driver's version, the man is guilty. So
it's
like
ridiculous.
For sure.
It's the weirdest part.
maybe they're not being fair to him, right? A guy that proclaimed his innocence to the death. Unless there is any truth to like what he said to the Pierre character, which is Ben Affleck. I don't know how well documented this could possibly be.
I got something for you. I was going to jump in. Can I jump in, Pat?
Yeah.
So, yes, I actually agree with that. It is very unfair to, Le Gris, because there is not a lot of writings about that, what actually happened in the case. And it was, since it is so, like, underreported, it is kind of unfair to Adam Driver's character. But I will say that the lawyer, who his name is, like, literally the cock, I like that actor too, but he's such a douchebag in this movie. He actually wrote in his journal that he kind of leaned that he did not believe Adam Driver's character, but he also really had no way of knowing. So that's literally all that we know about it, is that the lawyer thought that he didn't really necessarily buy what Adam Driver said, but that he was just guessing. So it is kind of unfair. Like, if Le Gris' ancient family comes out and is like, that's really unfair, I would actually get that.
I think my problem is, after we see Adam Driver's perspective, it's like, okay, well, what do we need the last third of the movie for?
Yeah.
Let's just get straight to the fight.
Yeah, we know he did it. Yeah. I mean, I would have had to have believed that this happened, right? I'm talking about like from a historical perspective.
Time
For
period,
someone,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for everything that she has to lose. Like, what's this manner of her death? She's like, then burned?
It only takes that line from the priest to drive that home. You don't need to show dose rape scenes. I am honestly sorry I'm saying that word, because I know it's a trigger to some people, and it bothers me that the movie, it's tough to even like, but that makes it hard to like watch this movie too, because they show that explicitly multiple times. So
The one thing I'll say, I remember seeing like posters and trailers for the Last Duel. I obviously didn't see it in theaters because fucking no one did, but I did not think it was going to be like this. I didn't see this coming at all.
I didn't know this is what this movie was about at all, yeah.
I was surprised. Josh, what about the Last Duel itself? Did you like the battle? Yeah. Tell us a little bit what happened. Also, apparently very, quote unquote, historically accurate based on accounts of the time, like down to the injuries.
Down to the haircut, I hope. Josh,
Yeah.
in your answer, please compare it to A Kid in King Arthur's Court. You may proceed.
Yeah.
Actually, I will set this up a little bit, but I do kind of feel like Kylo sometimes is our George R.R. Martin of fight scenes. I love kind of some of the details he chooses to go into, so I would like to pass it to you, Kylo, in a second if I can. But basically, what I like about this fight is even just the setup, because the horses, I'm like trusting Ridley Scott and feel like I'm in really good hands here, in that he's like teaching us about the sport of a duel, and maybe it's bullshit, but like the horses are all unsteady. They race at each other. Matt Damon kind of even starts like Jerry Seinfeld. He gets a false start. The first 3 or 4 jousts, they're just like hitting each other. Their jousts are kind of breaking apart. It seems like a good, even battle, high intensity. I'm loving everything here, but like,
one of the Lance boys gets like squished against a wall.
does he
That
break
was
his
brutal.
ACL or does he break his neck? I couldn't.
He
tell.
breaks his
done.
fucking spine. He's
Okay.
twisted and he's twisted like a DNA strand.
The crowd's like, oh! But anyway, the main fight. And I love that. But I think once they're both dismounted, I think Matt Damon is like hurt more. Like Adam Driver jousts better. But then with kind of a lucky shot, Adam Driver falls off the horse. And then it's like really on.
It's on and cracking, yo. First of all, way better than A Kid in King Arthur's Court. So a lot of people, a lot of people probably
Debatable.
go into this movie like wondering where it stands against A Kid in King Arthur's Court in terms of joust fighting. This one's better. Do you agree, Pappy?
I wish they would have said this is how it happens in the movies at some point. That really would have, grounded the scene. But
Or if they said like we can make Paris great again, in true Belasco fashion.
yeah,
What do you guys think about Knight's Tale?
Oh, Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale has some
Knight's
great
Tale,
jousting.
That's a great movie. We should do that one sometime.
That is a great movie.
I think the cool thing about this fight is how brutal it is, but also it's kind of like weird to say that, knowing that historically this fight was as brutal or maybe almost as brutal as we see in the movie. I imagine there's some liberties taken to some degree, maybe with like blood splatter and just, the little bits
How
of
long
gore.
it took.
But it's really great to see these two guys just go at it in this like extremely physical, visceral way. And then seeing Adam Driver with the sword, it's real like Kylo Ren energy. Because
Yes.
I've always said that Kylo Ren is like, his fighting style in Star Wars is really cool in that it's like a medieval knight. It's a lot of like heavy swings, like big lunges, and not like the kind of finesse you see in some of the more like ninja style Star Wars lightsaber users.
In the old style.
Yeah. It's very like it's very power driven, and that's what you see here. Like really power driven swings and just like the pain of it. I feel like you can feel the pain of it sometimes, and particularly when Matt Damon gets like a broken stick just like jabbed in his leg and the blood just kind of squirts out. It's like you almost feel that. Like you put yourself in his shoes and you think, God damn, now I got to like have this fight while limping with one of my like major muscle groups completely like torn.
and like I don't know, I didn't read any of the history until after I saw the movie. But like watching the movie, I'm like, well, yeah, Matt Damon should kick the shit out of this guy. Like he has been out in the field fighting all this time.
But watch him. That's what I liked about this. Like, this really shouldn't have been a fair fight, but they've kind of been setting up the whole time. Him at the beginning, he is a bull. He charges forward. I think he's actually a way better fighter, at least a ground fighter, than Adam Driver. But watch him. He's got no strategy. He's just melee, just Like
That's who he is, though.
He
He's
could. I
brash.
think he could
He's-
easily
yeah.
beat him, but he is like so angry and so mad.
He's a rube. That's how a rube fights. That's how a pappy fights out there. Or scrappy.
Well, it's almost like part of his superpower in combat is that like he kind of has no fear, right? He's just like ready to go.
Can I do a rewind Stevie question?
Yeah.
Rewind.
I would be willing to guess, Stevie, that you do like that scene where they're on that ridge with the creek and they're like being
Beheading the
tempted.
women?
Yes. Not because of the beheadings, but because of the movie making. That's pretty cool, and I thought the two perspectives we got on it are really good. And that way that like they save each other's life really plays into, I think, like this final scene we're talking about.
No, I mean, I don't mind the creek scene, really. I don't mind the two perspectives either of, Carrouges being an idiot and, getting the different Adam Driver perspective is pretty cool. What I think just still bothers me about this movie is just, is really just the idea of, that's why I kind of compared this movie to being made like in 2005, is we start on the Last Duel, and then right when we get into the meat and bones of them meeting on the horse, we start the story. It's like, I really like the fighting at the end of this movie. I thought it was fine, especially with the close-up shots, and you guys talked about like feeling the actual pain and the weight of things.
The fatality is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like the.
Oh yeah, super cool.
Final
I just
move.
wish we got that at the very beginning of the movie, and then you can tell a story.
And the naked body.
That's the money shot up front. Is that how you watch your porn? No, sir.
They
massacred our boy, Kylo. They shoved a nail through his foot, stabbed a knife in his mouth, and hung him upside down naked. It's terrible.
He's the Christ-like character.
No, he's not.
Definitely Stevie. No, Stevie, but they were definitely going for Jesus imagery, wouldn't you say so?
I mean, it was France.
They're literally casting his clothes for lots. He's got his arms out wide. They're dragging him by the feet. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's what, I feel like that's what he was going for.
Are we supposed to read in that he was falsely
did nothing
accused
wrong?
I don't think that at all. But
Free Le Gris did nothing wrong.
when you
Free Le Gris. Free
Run
Le
the
Gris.
rivers to Le Gris.
Oh God, stop! When you saw the creek scene, Stevie, tell me you didn't immediately think of Dave Chappelle jumping from one side. I'm on this side. I'm on this side.
On the east side of the Mississippi, I'm on the west
Yeah.
side.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever it is in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah. Actually, you're right. Part of me did think of that. Can I say something, though?
Yeah.
Is there a main character in this movie?
I thought it was
Marguerite.
Matt Damon, but I guess it's almost her.
The truth.
Is the
Gotta be her,
truth the
right?
main character? I mean, if it's Matt Damon, he's like top 10 worst characters, like main characters of all time.
I wouldn't say he's the main character. I feel like even in that final thought, the only real reason that I'm rooting for Matt Damon is like, well, I don't want her to get burned. You know?
Would have been pretty cool, though.
Well, and Adam Driver's a rapist. I mean, that should have been up there too.
His character.
Well, right.
His character.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Not Adam Driver.
Yeah. Wanting like Matt Damon to win versus I hope they both kind of kill each other in this fight.
I actually
type
thought
thing.
they were going to, or that Adam Driver's character was going to win, and she was going to find a way to sneak a weapon in there and kill herself. But
Why didn't they give her one reason to actually like Matt Damon? One.
protective.
He's not a main character.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand about the last chapter. Is it supposed to be a gray area whether like she wants Matt Damon to die in this duel? Like
He
is
forces her to have sex, like, against her will as well. Like, it's
Yeah.
like
I mean, at the time, it's time accurate, but yes, that's pretty brutal.
But that's I think
after
that's what
he
they're
hears
going
about
for.
the rape, he goes, "How could he do this to me?"
Well, like you said, it's
Very strong.
It wasn't a crime. That's like kind of the whole point. Is the woman doesn't have rights.
Yeah.
It's his
And I think
property.
that's what they're going for. Is like, man, it would suck ass to be a woman back then. Like, it'd be the worst. But then, I hate that it gives you this fucking happy ending bullshit with like the credits afterwards, where
Yeah.
it's like, in reality,
Is
they
that
went on to have
happy?
like more children
So, yeah,
together.
They had 3 kids.
They had more kids. They lived together. He lived for like another 10 years. It's like
10
the
years,
movie
yeah.
has you believe that it's like, oh, he died a few years later, then she lived peacefully doing what she loved, running this estate with her son. It's just like, well, that's not very true to the reality of the situation. It's still, after the Last Duel, it still sucked to be a woman in the Middle Ages. It sucked to be a lot of people in the Middle Ages. I don't know. The closing title thing really fucking bothered me, actually.
You know who it sucked to be? The guy that has to hand the jousting stick to Matt Damon. Because, yeah, you're fucked, man.
It's like it's called their second.
Just get kicked in the head.
So you said you don't like Matt Damon in this movie. Jean Carrouges. I will say this: he's got a look that he pulls that I think is pretty solid. It's like it's like
scarred up,
indignant blue steel. It's like a face he puts on.
he's always angry.
I like it when he comes back from war the 5th time. That's a good look.
Number 5 was the winner. Yeah.
Speaking of looks, Josh, I wanted to ask you this. I didn't even really catch this till recently, rewatching it. But even in this Last Duel, this whole movie is so fucking gray and has a weird color tone to it. You know what I mean? It's a very gray,
medieval filter,
I liked it.
Brown movie. Well, it's very different than what you would think of a medieval
Mexico.
movie, the heraldry. There's not bright colors. There's not bright shields and all this shit.
You wish it
Josh,
were shot in Mexico. You want the Mexico filter.
Saw.
What do you think? I wish. What do you think about the look, Josh?
Piss filter.
Honestly, the look had me. I don't think I thought too much of it. I felt like it felt like a time period or something. I'm sorry, I don't have something too interesting to say, but I thought maybe that's something that Ridley Scott really pulled off. The look, motion, just framing of everything. Everything above the line that you see or below the line, whatever it is.
Costume's great.
Framing, sound, cinematography, coloring. I thought it was pretty fucking spot on, Pap.
Yeah, same.
I
thought it looked really good. I mean,
Why is it so gray?
It's what I would expect maybe from a medieval historical drama, but I expect it. To me, I wouldn't have thought about that really unless I was going to do a podcast on this movie, because that's when I kind of start looking into things a little bit deeper. But I think it fit right in with what I anticipated when I saw this movie in theaters in 2021.
Oh,
You're
you saw
the
this in
one.
theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he still hates me for some reason, man. It sucks being a millennial, paying money to go see his movie, and then the movie flops and he talks shit about you. It hurts, man.
You actually like
Kylo
millennials?
Ren.
Yes, I am one.
Yeah, but the younger millennials suck. No offense.
Oh,
You guys
Corey,
are
I was-
the fake 90s kids.
Corey, I was going to ask you. I asked Steve at the top of the podcast, and maybe this can transition into final thoughts. But just Ridley Scott as a filmmaker, I ask you because I know you're a true movie buff. You've seen a ton of movies. How do you feel about him just grinding out movies for his career? I don't think the man's going to stop until he dies.
There's a few people that are going to keep going, man. There's only a handful of auteurs out there. We talked about this semi-recently, but I'm glad the man's doing his thing. Occasionally, I think he gets a gem in there, but I think people forget that he makes a lot of bullshit. I'm never going to forgive him for Alien Covenant. That was a fucking waste of time movie.
We were talking earlier.
don't
The
like
people all liked it.
I did not.
Who liked it? Who here liked it?
Stevie did.
I did.
Oh my God, dude.
I like all the aliens.
Yeah.
Gross. I haven't seen them
What
all.
about Prometheus?
So, I'm only comparing them when I see an Alien movie really to the first two, because I haven't seen 3 or 4, which
3 sucks.
have their own weird fandoms. But we can even set those aside. There's other movies that he's seen that I just don't give a fuck about. American Gangster. Does anyone remember that movie? Right?
I remember wanting to see it, and I literally never saw
With
it.
Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never saw that.
But there's
Frank Lucas.
there's Gladiator. The man made Gladiator. It's like Michael Jackson, right? He made Thriller. Come on. He made, you gotta give him a little bit of slack, maybe.
Yeah.
Kylo, before you
You miss
got on
100% of the shots you don't take.
Before you got on the pod, I literally said he made Gladiator. That forgives a lot of sins.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, The Counselor, again, one of the worst movies. Definitely the worst Patreon.
Oh my God, The
pick that we ever
Counselor?
had.
Counselor needs
But-
medicine.
We obviously didn't cover a lot. Any final thoughts that you guys had? Anything I missed? I'll double check my notes.
Absolutely. Final thoughts. I got some, man. I don't know if you guys like have anticipated this, but my final thoughts are about Star Wars. There are some Star Wars actors in this fucking movie, man. Adam Driver, right? Plays Kylo Ren. He plays me. Pretty accurately, I'd say. Jodie Comer, who's Marguerite.
What the fuck?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Pretty accurately, I'd say.
She's the mom, right, Kylo?
Yeah, she is Rey's mom in Happy's favorite Star Wars movie, Rise of the Skywalker, as you call it. There's also the mom, who's Matt Damon's mom. Her name's Harriet Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
She's also in The Force Awakens, so she's with Adam Driver in that movie, although they don't share any scenes because she's in the Rebel base.
She's the Chewie doctor, right? Isn't that who she?
She's a very Chewie doctor. Also, King Charles VI in this movie. The guy you said that was making all the funny faces, looking around, confused, maybe slightly amused more than confused, I'd say.
Andor, huh?
He's in Andor. He's the guy that writes the manifesto, Stevie and Mikey.
Yeah!
So,
I thought he looked familiar.
lots of Star Wars people in here. Love it for that.
Bruce Bolton from Josh's favorite show, Game of Thrones, in here as well. Any other final thoughts?
Also, we got Celeborn from Lord of the Rings 1 and 3. He's the guy like Crespin who says Pax. He's Galadriel's husband. And he's the bad guy in The Equalizer, so.
Oh, Galadriel's husband.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk a lot of shit about that guy when we did the Lord of the Rings episodes? We're like, I think we said something about his like minimal role.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good otherwise.
But yeah, sorry, I don't believe there are any big deaths, so we can...
Huge bummer.
I
Yeah,
know.
no one died.
Yeah,
from this? Like,
bummed.
Ah, man.
Can I say
put
something?
Barry Gibb away. Yeah, Steve.
Does the Middle Ages aesthetic drive anybody else nuts?
I kind of love it.
Does the sun never fucking shine during this time
South
period?
Bend.
This is what I'm talking about. Why is it so gray?
Drives me insane.
In
You're
Western
telling me
Europe, yeah, the sun barely ever... It's always...
for
bright and
years,
foggy.
True.
for years, the sun has never shined.
I mean, that's just the weather over there. It's pretty gray.
It's not exactly South Haven. I don't know.
It's lazy filmmaking is what it is. It's lazy to me, but I mean, the sun has to shine at some point. Other than that, I have no other final thoughts.
What scene shall the sun have shineth upon us?
Josh, stop.
It's shining at the very end, I think.
That is the
Yeah,
only
it
time I
is.
think. Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Well, you asked for one.
On the little
The
boy.
good guys won. The sun can shine now.
Yeah.
We've had dark clouds hanging over us because of what happened. But now, since it's gone, the sun can shine. You get it?
You get it?
Upper Normandy benefits from 1,700 hours of sunshine a year. That seems like a lot. Seems like a fair amount.
You know what's funny, Stevie? You talking about that sun shining at the very end? Like, did Ridley Scott have to like tell people that like at the very end the sun is finally shining? Did he have
He's
to?
an artur, man.
Did he have to?
He's got to
verbally-
throw it in there.
He had to tell someone
The
that.
editors were like, fuck! We gotta apply a gray filter to the whole movie.
He did the same thing for Robin Hood. That movie was completely gray.
What about the accents? Just not gonna do the French accents for anybody?
I think Brett said it pretty well early pod. They all had English accents, but the English people were more Englishy accents or something.
Yeah, I
like
didn't
that.
know if they were like the English just occupying France or what was going on here, but it's just French people.
Well, accents. First of all, accents have changed a lot over time.
But they wouldn't be speaking English though if they were French. You would at least they would
What's that called?
put on an accent just to not sound British.
That's called something in movies, right? It's like something understanding.
Kayfabe? Oh,
That's wrestling.
Kayfabe. This isn't a wrestling movie.
yeah. I don't.
Wish it was.
Stevie, what about the
Would have
Latin?
been a lot cooler.
You've said before that Latin freaks you out. Did Adam Driver reading Latin?
No, it was very
send chills up your
soothing.
spine?
It was very soothing.
I've actually taken Latin.
Was it accurate, Brett?
How do you say this is spoilers in Latin?
Ooh.
I can tell you how to say Hail Mary.
That's useful.
It is for me. If I'm dying, I'm going to be saying the Hail Mary in Latin, not this is spoilers, God.
Well, my final words will be this is spoilers, and you can count on that.
Love it.
As I'm cast down to hell.
Was Ben Affleck even doing an accent? Or was he just Boston
He
Ben?
was having fun.
Dude, he has some pretty ridiculous lines. Like at one point, he's like, "The gold or the sandals?" Like he's talking about his shoes. Like
That was funny.
he's just a goofball in this movie. All right, we're running back. Eastus to Eastus, Brett. Go ahead and go first.
Okay, so I am going to give this a yes. I actually enjoyed this movie. I like the dialogue. I'm going to bring up a point, and please know that I'm just talking about the filmmaking aspect and not. Okay, so that's all understood, right? I mentioned. I
feel like this is going to be rough.
I feel like this is like the
Let's clip
last
this.
duel.
No.
Clip this for the TikTok.
It's not. It's
All right,
not.
we're ready.
It's actually something I teased before, about the subtitles. So, yes, both of the R asterisk PE scenes were hard to watch for sure. I did like the subtle differences in them, and the one that you only really picked up on, maybe if you watch with subtitles, which I know Pappy's a subtitle guy, I'm a subtitle guy, Stevie is. So in his recollection of the story, the subtitles on the bottom, the noises she's making are, while she's definitely screaming and yelling, they are a little more pleasurable. On the bottom it says like moans and like another word that's like that, where it's a little more
Comes.
again pleasure sounding than yes. But on hers on the bottom it said like shrieking, and I just thought that little subtle thing was what makes him such a good filmmaker. Obviously, it isn't one of his best films, but I did like that aspect. Yes, if we're gonna watch the same story 3 times, I need a reason why. And like I said earlier with the shoes, she takes off her shoes like it's almost like a little game to her in his recollection, but in hers, she trips going up the stairs because she's freaking terrified. I like that bit of filmmaking, but yes, it was definitely tough to watch. So I'm going to give this definitely a yes. It's probably not a movie I'd want to watch again. I mean, we got to see I don't know, Adam Driver stunt double hanging dong upside down. Plus, I mean, what was a more awkward mount? Him trying to get on his horse or the horse trying to mount the other horse? Yikes.
You get it?
He's got like
Yeah,
a big
symbolism.
paddle ready to get the fuck off.
Yeah, that was crazy. So yes, I know not everyone else is gonna give a yes, and I'm okay with that. No skin off my back. So yes, thank you for being a patron,
Mr. Swole, rock hard.
Mr. Swole.
Patron.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Could
Swole.
not be two more drastically different picks that you provided us, Afro Samurai and The Last Duel. Like totally different pieces of media. I love
It's
it
a
though.
vibe.
yeah, just once again, thank you. I can't believe we have rock hard Patreons. When we made that tier, we're like, well, no one's going to do this. We'll just put it out there just to see. So seriously, thank you, Paul Swole. Appreciate it. I'm going to give it a soft yes. I was really into the movie. I'm kind of like picking up what Josh is putting down. I was actually really into the movie until we see Adam Driver's perspective. And then the movie's intrigue lost a lot for me there, because it's like, oh, he did actually commit this crime. Like there's really not even that much else to think about in terms of the movie. I think other than the gray filter, the below the line stuff, awesome. The shot of the castle, really good. I fucking love Adam Driver, Mishawaka Zone. Always good to see him. It's fine. It's an interesting concept. In terms of Ridley Scott, good shooters keep shooting, I guess. Like, he made Alien, and 25 years later or some shit like that, he made Gladiator. So who's to say that he's not going to make another, like, all-time classic movie? Yeah, he makes a lot of shit. And yeah, he seems like a little pretentious. He seems like he can be kind of an asshole in interviews, but you never know.
Counselor 2.
Yeah, Counselor 2, Gladiator 2. Never not in a scarf. Yeah, mostly, again, thank you, Paul. Soft yes. I will never watch this movie again. I watched it twice for spoilers. I don't want to see that scene another 2 times. I already saw it 4 times.
You're approaching double digits.
I'm good. Josh?
Hello, it's Josh from Goshen. I can't believe Ridley Scott's done this. That's my best French accent. What do you guys think?
That was French?
That was British?
10 out of 10.
I'm less British than some of those guys. So I'm French.
Okay. Yeah.
It works.
You're right.
Pap, that's kind of, yeah, once Adam Driver rapes her from his own perspective, I don't understand what the movie is doing after that, except trying to build suspense. All that said, it's a soft yes anyway. Still so good because Adam Driver's in it and the battle scenes are good, and I don't mind the gray at all. There's so much blood and like cool deaths. Adam Driver's sword through the throat. Soft yes, Josh from Goshen.
Stevie.
First, I want to say thanks, Paul, for being an awesome contributor to this podcast. That is awesome, especially at the level that you're at. I want to say thank you for picking this movie. I always love the opportunity to watch movies. I'll keep this short and sweet. I love Mishawaka Zone, Adam Driver. I will watch that man shit on a toilet for 2 hours if it means I can support him in any way. But A Knight's Tale exists, and that's about it. I'm going to give this a no.
Mike.
Thanks, Paul, for the movie. We appreciate your support. I think it's an interesting concept for a movie, just the wrong subject matter. I don't care. You can make a movie about the R word, make it the central focus about this situation. I don't care. Make a movie about anything. I've seen all the Saws. I've seen a bunch of fucked up movies. I don't care. Make a movie about anything. It's just, this was the wrong subject to do this about. I don't think it fits with what the format of this movie is shooting for. To see it from 3 different perspectives, when like once we see the second perspective, it's kind of null and void about what else is happening in this movie. So I think it's a well-made movie. I like the way it looks. I don't think it looks bad. I don't mind the gray. I think the very minimal scenes we get of fighting looks great. And I honestly, like, it's weird when I gotta say, like, I wish there was more Ben Affleck, because I thought he was a great part of the movie. I thought he was certainly more interesting to watch than Matt Damon in this, but I'll just say the softest. If I'm taking one step to my right or one step to my left, it's either or, and it's like, I guess I'll just go the softest of yes. That like I got through the movie and I wasn't totally bored by it because the concept had me intrigued the entire time, seeing the different perspectives. But if something else at the core of this movie was like the central focus, like maybe they killed someone and it was from 3 different perspectives, like I don't know, like maybe like a argument in an alley or something, and something happened, just like anything else would have been much more intriguing to me. But it's a really well made movie, so it's just the softest of yes. I'm never gonna watch it again though. It's just so long,
Pap,
so not worth it.
are you done? Sorry, Mikey, my bad.
Yeah, I'm done now.
I think they would have had to change some things, but wouldn't it have made more sense from, like, because I agree with all of you guys that it's like, because I wasn't sure what we were going to see during Adam Driver's, sorry, this is a final thought, during chapter 2. I thought maybe that she was, like, going to seduce him maybe and, try to get him in trouble. But
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, and I just don't. Unfortunately, I don't think you can do the ambiguity with this story, given what the nature of the story is.
Yeah.
It just would not play. But last but not least, we've actually come down relatively positive. Some soft yeses, one
sorry,
no.
I thought you were done. My bad. I thought we were done. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Corey. So glad you could make it, Corey.
Sorry,
We were all worried actually for a second, but what say you?
Thanks. I did survive. This is Corey, also known as Jacques Le Gris memes.
Nice.
I did say Kylo Ren didn't do it, but, regarding Jacques Le Gris, God has spoken. So that matter is settled, I think, right? I did like this movie. I liked it when I saw it in theaters. I liked it a little bit less this time around because for me, this is a good, late nights, 10 o'clock showing, solo theater visit movie, and that was my exact experience with this movie. A movie like this, I really need my undivided attention, and almost the only way to get that is in a movie theater setting. I get distracted really easily. I want snacks. I go on my phone. I pause the movie and go on my phone, mind you, but these are things that are a me problem. When I'm in a theater, my investment level is totally different, and my investment level was perfect for this movie. And again, great late night solo movie. Don't have anything to do after, no time crunch issue. My favorite things about this movie are some of the things you guys complained about, specifically the narrative structure. I think it's a really cool idea, what they're doing here. Now, is it executed perfectly? No, I don't think so. But there are little things that are great about it, I think. For example, Matt Damon, he goes to confront Adam Driver and Ben Affleck when they're celebrating and having a meal. And he walks up to them and it cuts to him talking to his wife about it. And he is retelling this story like, I handled myself well. I kind of I stood up and I said my piece, and I felt like, my grievances were aired in front of everybody. But then when it shows what actually happens later, he was just like a little bitch about it, which is it's kind of funny. But I like what it's doing there because it's kind of getting me on his side. And I think that's what it's trying to do, right? His perspective is maybe he leaves out some details, I think is the point there. But when we see the other side, it's like, wow, this guy just came up like a raging lunatic, just like spitting vitriol at us. And I think those components are really cool for a movie, right? I think it's cool when a movie does something a little bit different like this. Maybe that's why I love Christopher Nolan so much, is because he'll do things like this in a bigger way, execute them better, certainly, with the time shifting, different perspectives, whatever Christopher Nolan-y tricks you can think of. I do love Adam Driver. I think Matt Damon is pretty good in this movie. Ben Affleck is a weirdo, and I don't know, it's like almost like he's playing old school Ben Affleck. Like he's Mallrats Ben Affleck once again, and it's cool. It's cool to see that, right? I
just fucking wenches with his bros, just like in Mallrats.
Sometimes Ben Affleck, I think, takes himself a little bit too seriously and is like trying to do these big passion projects like The Accountant and stuff, and to me they just always seem weird, and he seems weird in them. But anyway, that's a total aside. I'm going to give this movie a yes. I think it's pretty good. But side note for Swole, who I love, by the way. Swole, you're super cool. I'm going to say something that the other guys don't want to say to you. And that is that this might not be the best choice for a spoilers podcast episode, this movie pick. Nothing against you. I'm glad we did this.
What do you mean?
We had fun. But it's a little too like right in the middle, I think, for something like us to cover. I think we need a little bit more
He knew exactly what he
more
was
meat
doing.
on the bone, you know? Yeah, and it can be in either direction. I'm going to leave it at that.
I was stressing how this conversation was going to go. I'm like, well, you know, it's usually just a nice, fun, lighthearted evening with the boys. Let's talk about the Last Duel and its multiple rape scenes. That'll be a good night. But I think we did a pretty good job. I'm proud of us. Brett, 5 yeses, 1 no. What food? You're a French expert. What food would this be?
A croque monsieur. Which is like a French toast with it's like a grilled cheese, but it's got ham in the middle and like cheese on the outside as well.
It's always escargot every time.
Yeah, I think it's escargot.
That's
We'll
for
go
6
with that
yeses.
one.
By the way, apparently there was a deleted scene during the court scene where Pierre stands up and he goes, "Come on, tell me you wouldn't have popped her," just like Ben Affleck did in.
What does he say?
but
Call
they were
me.
like,
What? Call me.
Call me Joe. Who's your favorite new kid?
Oh yeah.
Call me Donnie. Don't
He's
make me
in
get
there
loose
with like
now.
all the women. Yeah.
Oh God, that would have been amazing. Apparently, him saying "closer" was an ad lib, which I thought was kind of funny. So, but yeah, I'm done.
We'll look forward to that in the Last Duel tool, but it's something you wait to look forward to every spoilers episode. There's a bit of trivia. Mikey, were you able to add the music clips to the soundboard?
Oh my God.
Yes. You'll have to let me know how loud they are for you guys.
Okay. So I'm not like Josh. I don't have a fancy
This is my bit.
D&D die, but I have you guys are familiar with the game Trouble?
Oh yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
fun.
you got a popper?
It's fun getting into trouble.
Yeah, it's the Frozen edition of Trouble. So I got Olaf, got Kristoff, we got the 2 chicks on here, Anna and Elsa. But yeah, so I'm gonna roll the dice,
Anna,
and give you guys a quote. Mikey will play the music, based on the dice roll, and you have to say if it was Matt Damon, Adam Driver, or Ridley Scott. We'll do 2 strikes, you're out. We'll go west to east. Run it backwards this time. Help me keep track of your strikes in the order. 2 strikes, you're out. Or we'll pop the trouble popper. Okay. Mikey, give me that sweet, sweet Matt Damon music. All right. Corey. Maybe turn down a little bit, Mikey, if you could. When you think about it, Avatar is almost a completely animated movie.
Ridley Scott.
Correct.
Yeah, gotta be.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Mikey. Give me the Adam Driver.
No way.
I remember I had high expectations for the first Blade Runner because I'd read a lot about it in science fiction movie magazine.
Matt Damon.
That's correct. We're 2 for 2.
Ridley Scott, like, yeah, I have really high expectations.
For the movie,
What are the 3 options again?
I was like,
Driver,
Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Ridley Scott. If you could give me the
Okay.
Blade Runner theme, Mikey. Ridley Scott. Okay. Who wants to come and hear about your specific problem? It's not therapy. It's supposed to be a place of communal piece of entertainment. It's supposed to be a communal piece of entertainment.
Driver.
It's gotta be.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Right.
Matt Damon.
Goodwill Hunting reference.
That was a strike?
Yeah, that was a strike. It was Matt Damon.
Doesn't want to hear about your fucking problems.
Yeah, go ahead and give me the Adam Driver again. I don't think the clip turned out like I liked, but I like the outer space. In the military, you learn a lot about the essence of people. You gain a lot of examples of self-sacrifice and moral courage.
Well, if you don't know, that Adam Driver was once in the military, you're a fucking idiot. Adam Driver.
That's correct. Yep.
Just joking. You're a
Mike.
smart person.
No,
Mike,
idiot.
give me the Matt Damon. Brett,
Yeah.
listen. Here's the thing. If you can't spot the sucker in the first half hour at the table, then you are the sucker.
That's Matt Damon from the movie Rounders.
That's correct.
Oh, these are movie quotes. You're
Nice.
saying?
Sometimes.
I didn't know they were movie
Sometimes.
quotes.
It's something this person has said at one point in their life.
Oh.
Come on.
All right, so only Stevie has the strike so far, right?
One strike for Stevie. Back to Corey. You can give me the shipping off to Boston, Mikey. the music really makes
This
it
is
trippy.
fucking so funny.
I don't see as many movies as I used to. Or should I say, as many movies as I would like.
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna guess Adam Driver.
Ridley Scott.
Sorry, it's Matt Damon.
Oh, man.
Matt Damon. One strike.
Is that from The Departed?
No.
I've seen a lot of movies, yeah.
All right, once again, shipping off to Boston, Mikey. This is yours, Mikey. You know, a one-term president with some balls who actually got some stuff done would have been, in the long run of the country, much better.
This sounds like old man talk. Ridley Scott.
No, Matt Damon. Sorry.
Wow.
Super political Matt Damon.
I hope one of the quotes is like, buy crypto.
Give me the Ridley Scott, Mikey. All right, Steve, this is your quote. I'm a science fiction enthusiast, really, deep down.
Adam Driver.
Sorry, Steve, you've been eliminated. That was your boy, Ridley Scott.
Ugh. Darn.
Big fan of spoilers, Ridley Scott. Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Give me the Ridley Scott again, Mikey. Just keep it rolling. All right. The best films are driven by characters. And we'll come out to superhero movies after this if you want. Because I'll crush it. I'll fucking crush it. They're fucking boring as shit.
First of all, if you're going to do this game and you don't do the streets accent, it kind of falls apart.
Oh, crush him. They're boring as shit.
I got to say, it's some Ridley Scott Old Man Sour Grapes quote.
That's correct. Yeah. We're at end of round 2. The Matt Damon again, Mikey.
Just do the streets
Brett, your-
voice. Come on.
Brett, your quote. I don't have a blink, honestly.
You can't do that voice when one of the actors is British. Come on. One of the guys is British. Can you say it again?
I don't ever blink, honestly.
Adam Driver.
It's Ridley Scott. He's
Oh
a
my
weirdo.
gosh.
Stevie's out. Does everybody have a strike? Does anyone not have a strike?
I don't.
Josh, sitting strong. All right, Corey. Give me the Adam Driver, Mikey. Corey, your quote. I don't have cable. I just never watched a lot of TV.
Never watched a lot of TV? I don't know, Matt Damon.
I don't have cable. Adam Driver. I'm sorry. Corey's been eliminated.
Oh, I'm out.
Mikey? Matt Damon again. I have a control problem. I hate the feeling of not being in control.
Ridley Scott.
It's Adam Driver. I think it's down to Josh and Brett for a hot take. Josh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep the... Yeah, all right. Give me the Adam Driver then, according to Trouble. I should have done it years ago. It's amazing. I don't even want cigarettes anymore.
Into the verse. Really? Yeah.
I know Matt Damon used to smoke, so I'll say him.
Gotta be Matt Damon.
Josh is on fire.
Let's go.
All right, Brett.
Yep.
Keep it rolling, Mikey. U2 is my desert island band. U2 is my desert island band.
Which sick fuck said that?
Yeah, who the fuck said this?
Right mind would pick you too.
Gross.
This is more disturbing content than the movie itself.
First of all, what? They have like at least a few amazing albums. But anyway.
Yeah, I know they
Matt
forcibly
Damon.
put one on my iPhone.
Yeah.
You can see him in the sphere, Brett.
Matt Damon.
That's correct. Josh. People have no idea how physically tough doing a film is.
Brett, can I just do a hot take? Will you just give it to me?
You can, but I still want to win.
Let me just take it out. We're good
You're up a
friends, right?
streak.
Okay.
We are good friends.
Louder.
And if I-
People have no idea
A
how
last
physically
duel
tough
between friends.
doing a film.
That just sounds like a Matt Damon thing that he would say from Born Identity.
Ridley Scott.
Just get
Keep
it
it
wrong
going,
on
Mikey.
purpose, Brett. I have a great one. We're friends, right?
Josh, if I win, I'm 100% gonna let you have a hot take.
All right, Brett. If I'm not doing something or working on something, I literally just sit in the room and think, which I don't think is productive.
Ridley Scott.
Josh, you got your wish. You won fair and square.
Adam Driver?
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
I
They're
know that
both
Brett
really
blew
weird.
that. Brett, you blew that on purpose because you're a true friend.
Very good friend.
And my hot take is that if you're listening to this episode, go back, go forward in time, and listen to some of the Spoilers Friends episodes. We're doing a Matthew Perry tribute.
Yeah.
It's just me and Brett so far, but it's been really
Matthew
cathartic
Perry's.
and fun and funny. So I just wanted to shout those out a little bit, Pap.
Amen.
Right, Brett?
Amen. Good job. Yep. Fantastic. My brother's already said he loves them.
Oh, and also on Spotify, on the one with Joey's new girlfriend, episode 480, Austin said, really enjoyed this type of episode format. R.I.P. Matthew Perry. Love the great episode. We got more coming for you, Austin. Thanks for the comment.
Nice, Josh.
Well,
Nicely
once
done.
again, thank you, Paul, Mr. Swole, and Austin, and anyone who leaves us comments, anyone who interacts in any way. We
Dr.
appreciate
Lars.
Dr. Druid King. We love all you fucking guys.
The Wolf.
Brother Brian.
The Wolf, Brother Brian. I mean, listen, you're playing all the hits.
David!
Alexander Cooper
Zach!
himself.
Total movie recall.
Whoa.
Let's go. Meg.
The only person we don't like is Ready, Steady, Cut. But luckily you have more spoilers to listen
Spencer.
to. Take it away, spoiler man.
Special thank you to our patrons. Matt Troll.
I trust your little death was a memorable and productive one.
It was like none other.
Brother Brian.
While I'm gone, besides a bountiful harvest, our fortunes will turn most on the breeding of these horses.
Nephew Quinn.
I bought this mare for breeding. Comes from a long line of war horses. She will foal many a valuable colt.
Nick.
Perhaps we have conceived on this very night.
Nurse Stacy.
My daughter is strong and healthy.
The Meg.
And ready to honor the marriage.
The Wolf.
I hope this is pleasurable for you.
Gale.
And I do hereby deny all the aforesaid charges.
PK.
I was forced to sell that property. To Count Pierre.
Spencer.
He is false and wicked to say this thing.
As to the sworn testimony of Lady
Barkey 420.
One can only come to the conclusion she must have dreamt it.
Cheese Zombie.
He is filing an appeal to His Majesty at this very moment.
Sebastian.
Have you ever known me to lack the company of women?
Stone Cold Austin.
I must know. This is a serious matter.
Dr. Lars.
You will need to sit.
Druid King.
Most excellent and powerful king and our sovereign lord.
Swole.
I pledge to do whatever is necessary to prove my innocence.
If you'd like to request an episode, hear your name read by Spoiler Man, or even just help us make podcasts, please check us out on patreon.com/spoilerspodcast.
Be sure to check out Corey's podcast, Big Dumb Movie.
Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is Podcast Spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song. Please support this podcast by leaving us an iTunes review. Leave us some stars and some words. Spoilers is now available on Audible.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Yeah, I guess Corey can just join.
Is he
He
gonna
won't
join?
though. He said in the past he's like staunchly against that.
I like it. I think it's fun.
Add some excitement. It's like a little Nas booster in the middle of the pod.
What do you guys think he's recording for
twist of
Big
the
Dumb
Nas.
Movie?
What twist?
Probably 3 Ninjas again.
We ready?
Yep.
Yes.
How do you say Le Gris? Carrouges?
Carrouges.
Carrouges.
Le Gris.
Le Gris.
Le Grits.
Ho ho!
Dude, nobody's doing a French accent.
I don't know what the accents are in this movie.
Well, the French people at the very beginning are British, and the British people are even more British.
Yeah.
Like literally, go back and listen. Like that's like the first note I took in my head.
All right, let's start.
Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let them out!
Josh, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
If I'm dying, I'm going to be saying the Hail Mary in Latin, not this is spoilers, God.
That was Spoilers.